This is the sound you're supposed to recreate. And then on the next page here, you're going to recreate this sound. So the fastest way to learn how to program synthesizers from the ground up is, in my opinion, using Syntorial, and we are going to take a look at that software today. I have it on the screen here, it's loaded up, and it's version number 2. I just want to say I bought Syntorial when it was version 1. I did not get any sponsors or something like that, but just to disclose, I got a free update to version 2 now, so I can try it out. And if you want to try it yourself, you have an affiliate link in the description below where you can buy the software. But it's my own opinions in this video, they are not bought in any way. So here is Syntorial. It's kind of a video game training software, and it will teach you how to program synth patches by ear. It's not reading books, it's not following courses or anything like that. And it has almost 200 lessons, and it's combining video demonstrations with interactive challenges. You get a kind of a hands-on experience programming patches. I'm going to show you that soon here on a built-in software synthesizer in this application. You're going to learn everything you need to know how to start making your own sounds with these, and it doesn't matter what kind of synthesizers you have. If you have a software synthesizer, it works fine. If you have a hardware synthesizer, that works fine. This will teach the basics. You can actually apply this on a lot of other software synthesizers or hardware synthesizers as well. So instead of talking about science and physics behind synthesizers, Syntorial will actually show you how each control effect sound and why you should use them while designing sounds. This is information you can immediately apply to real life situations. If you go to options, you can download even more lessons packs for Serum, for Massive, Silent, a hardware synthesizer, the Minimoog Voyager, and they are also planning to add other synths here as well. But when you start it up, you see here, you get to the first lesson, saw pulse waveforms. Let's just start it out.
Welcome to Syntorial. I'm Joe Hanley, and I'm going to be your guide throughout this course. You're going to learn the most essential synth parameters.
That's a nice
These are controls
guy
that you see on most synths, and you're going to learn how to use them to make the sounds you want. Every lesson will start with a video demonstration like this, but then after each demonstration, you'll do an interactive challenge on a built.
Okay, so you see you have a video here. I have done this before, so we can just skip it and we can go to the challenge, I think. Let's start the challenge. Okay, so this is the sound you're supposed to recreate, okay? So you can play it, and then on the next page here, you're going to recreate this sound by changing the parameters here. You have to use, as it says here, you have to use your ear to program the visible patch to match the hidden patch. And you can switch between them by pressing the X key, like this. Okay, so let's set it to saw wave. Okay, let's switch back. I don't think that sounds really the same. Okay, let's try. Right. Okay, submit. That's correct. And we go to the next lesson. So that's the first lesson. We go to the next one. Okay, saw wave here. Submit. That's correct. We'll go to the next one. Well, that's not so wave. So it's kind of, it's learning by ear. It's not reading huge books, just dive straight into it. So when you're finished, you get a score. I got max score here on the first one. That's obviously pretty cool. I'm a synth expert, of course. So let's go to the next lesson.
Pulse wave. The pulse wave is different from the saw because it lets you change its shape. By default, we have the full pulse width, known as a square. This is the one we know. But if I turn this pulse width knob by clicking and dragging down, it'll snap to medium. Listen to this. It gets thinner and buzzier. Let's compare. I can turn it down further, and I get to a thin pulse wave.
So you get this introduction video, and you go to the challenge, and you play the patch. You press start. So you have to recreate that. So it's a medium, right? So submit, and you get like this. So of course the first lessons have to make it really easy. It's not like this all the time. If you see here, we are just in the essentials, and we have 33 kind of chapters in essentials, and then we get to apprentice here, we get to artisan. You're going to learn how envelopes work, how cutoff work, how echo works, a lot of different things here. And when you're done with that, you can go and download lesson packs, and you can download, for example, lessons for Serum. So when the Serum lesson pack is installed, you get this video.
Welcome to the Serum Lesson Pack. Extend Syntorial's essential lessons by adding 55 Serum lessons, and they're spread throughout Syntorial. You'll see each Serum lesson has a white dot next to them, and they're at the end of each section. And they take everything you've learned in Syntorial up to that point and show you how it works in Serum. They also go over all the many additional features Serum has to offer, particularly here at the end. And I'd like to point out this group of Serum Custom Wavetables Part 1 through 6. These will show you how Serum's wavetable editor works, which enables you to create your own waveforms and wavetables. This is very fascinating stuff.
This is then a video
Serum
where he
filter.
explains...
Pop over onto the filter
that.
section. Buff is located at the top right there. It has a
So this way you can use the knowledge you have gathered in Syntorial and apply that on software synthesizers you have in your DAW. So when you have been going through some of the chapters, you get to more advanced programming later on. Here, for example, we have how an LFO works. So when you start this lesson, it starts off with a video explaining a little bit around LFOs and how the waveforms work.
LFO
Like
destination. The LFO creates repeating movement in your sound.
Okay, so like the guy, he is explaining how this works first, and then afterwards you can go to challenge, and you can see there you have a lot more on the synthesizer you can control, and you listen to the sound. And you have this kind of movement in the sound, which you are going to create on this page. So let's try pitch. I think it's that. And you get this kind of green lights when you are correct, and if you are incorrect, you get these red lights. So this was kind of a stereo sound. So if we just, okay, let's set it to volume, submit. Okay, so the waveform here is correct, right? It's a saw wave, but the destination volume here was wrong. Okay, so let's see, I think it's panning, and that was correct. And after LFO, you have LFO amount, waveform, rate, and then you have a lot of other lessons here. You have unison, you have reverb, how that works, legato voice mode, and yeah, just chorus, and all of different types of functions and settings you might find on a synthesizer. Distortion, noise, layering noise. Yeah, it's a lot of things you can learn that will obviously help you program a synthesizer, and this has really helped me in my synth programming for sure. So when you're done with the chapter, you get a quiz with questions can answer. So here, what do we call the raw sound a synth generates? Well, that's a waveform. Okay, that's correct. Next question, what part of the synth is responsible for generating waveforms? And that's the amp envelope. No, I'm kidding. That's the oscillator. Oh, we click next. And what waveform is this? and it asks if it's square, medium, or thin. And it's a pulse, of course, and I think it's medium. No, it's actually square. Okay. So first quiz finished. It was not bad. It gets you thinking at least, and it gets you to use your ears, which I think is really great idea of this entire how to program synthesizers. So this was just a quick video showing off Syntorial, and for me Syntorial was really helpful in learning how to program synthesizers, and I wish I actually had this software when I first bought my Access Virus TI2. I remember I bought that, I think it was over 10 years ago, and I didn't have a clue. I didn't really know what an oscillator was, so that's where I was, and I just used it as a preset player, which is not necessarily anything wrong with that. It's an instrument. You don't really have to know how to program it, but it's pretty good to know what a cutoff knob does or what an envelope or some basic things do. And again, with this particular software, you get this from the beginning, you get it from the basics, you get the basic waveforms, and it just adds up with echo and saturation and envelopes and everything you need to program any synthesizer, really. If you want to check out the software, I have an affiliate link in the description below. If you purchase Syntorial through that, you will support this channel, and I can wholeheartedly go good for this software. I really like it, and yeah, that's basically what I had to say today. So take care, and I will see you in a later video. Goodbye.